Carolina Wilhelmina Sandell Berg. Not a name that exactly rolls off the tip of your tongue, but a major contributor to the world of hymnology. Swedish. Matter of fact, considered the Fanny Crosby of Sweden, but never a child in good health. As a matter of fact, physically weak all of her life. She depended heavily on her father, who was an evangelist, who taught her and cared for her and took her with him wherever he went. Well, at the age of 26, she was accompanying him on an evangelistic crusade, which took them across Lake Vättern in the southern parts of Sweden. At one point, the boat lurched. Her father fell overboard, and right there in front of her, he drowned. Now, imagine the emotional toll that it took on her. She lost her mother 8 years earlier, and now she had no one in the family to lean on. So, she turned her grief into poetry. And it wasn't long before the rest of the world took notice. A musician by the name of Karl Anfeld, a popular guitarist, singer, producer, who also happened to be the guitarist for a very popular singer named Jenny Lind, set Lena's songs to music. Jenny would then sing them. And on a tour that was sponsored by, of all people, P.T. Barnum, Jenny sang Lena's songs in the U.S., and Lena Sandell became part of the American hymn book. Probably her most notable hymn was the one we call today, Day by Day. Seems to be a calm, soothing melody that assures us that through every situation and in every trial, God is with us. Day by day, and with each passing moment, strength I find to meet my trials here. Now, just to be clear, trusting God doesn't mean that our life is going to be smooth and without problems. It simply means that in the face of our trials and problems, we're not alone. God is still with us, and He will go with us through the worst of those trials. Remember, He said, in this world you will have tribulation, but take note, I have overcome the world. He said that, John chapter 16. And of course, David said in the Psalms, hundreds of years earlier, even though I walk through the darkest valley, you are with me. Sometimes we just become so overwhelmed with the darkness of those valleys. Lena once wrote an allegory about a clock in that very situation. The clock had stopped working, and the dial discovered that the problem was the pendulum. Well, I'm tired of swinging back and forth 86,000 times a day, the pendulum said. Well, try swinging 6 times, the dial said. Well, I can do 6 times, the pendulum said, but it's still the concept that of millions of times in my lifetime that I'm going to have to swing. It just crushes me. The dial thought about it a moment and said, think about this. While in a single moment, you can think of the millions of swings you're going to have to take in a lifetime. Only one at a time is required of you. Each day has its own problems, but you only have to do them one at a time. Now, I know we would like God to take them away completely, but that's not how He works. Lena wrote later on in that hymn, he whose heart is kind beyond all measure. Doesn't sound kind if He's giving us problems, does it? But he whose heart is kind beyond all measure gives unto each day what He deems best. It's each day that brings its own problems. So don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will bring its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today. That's in Matthew chapter 6. Day by day, and with each passing moment, strength I can find to meet my trials here. Take Him one day at a time, and you'll find the strength you need for just that day. Well, that's all I have for today. Please make your thoughts and comments known below. I look forward to meeting with you again in our next post. God be with you till we meet again.